Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to a brand new Let's Play here on JBPG. Today we're going to be taking a look at Gold Rush, the brand new game from Code Horizon. Well, I say brand new, it's brand new on consoles. This has obviously been out for many years now on PC, and it's finally arrived on PlayStation and Xbox, and this is a game I've been wanting to play for years and years, and I've been following the developers on their Facebook page for years, waiting for them to finally go ahead and release this game. And they've been saying every now and again, it's coming, and we're working on it. And then they go quiet for months and months and months, and then they'd pop up and say, yeah, it's coming, and then they go quiet again. But it's finally here, and I'm excited to play this. I have played around already with some basic stuff. I played the tutorial, and I've also had a little play around with a few different setups in other games as well. But we're going to be starting a brand new career for this Let's Play. So we're going to jump in, we're going to go on to normal. We're not going to play the tutorial. And let's go farm some gold in Alaska. So this game's just come out on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Of course, if you have one of the newer systems, the Series X or the PS5 like I do, then you can, of course, backwards compatibility play this, which is what I'm doing. I've got this installed on my PS5, and I've also installed it on on the system's internal storage as well, to try and speed up any little load time lags that we get, because there are a few. This is definitely not optimized for next gen. Get our engine started, handbrake off, and let's drive off into town. So there are a few of these little loading zones dotted around the map. You drive into one and it just pauses while it loads in the surrounding area. They're a little frustrating at first, but you kind of get used to them, and they're always pretty much in the same spot, so you come to just expect them. But so far from what I've played, I am really enjoying the game. It took me a little while to get going, and I did struggle a little bit with parts of the tutorial. But once I sussed out where I was going wrong, it was pretty straightforward and easy to finish off. Let's park it here, engine off. And we need to start off by going to the bank so we can lease a claim at Old Arnold Parcel. Doesn't cost us anything on this one, but if we do want one of the other parcels, then yeah, you're looking at 300,000 to lease Rivertown, 500,000 for Pine Valley, 800,000 for Nighthawk. So this is the only one we can really get started on. Free lease. It's going to cost us 600,000 if we want to buy the parcel. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take out a loan as well. First loan we get, we have a choice of two loans. We can either go $600 or $1,200. I'm going to go with the full 1200, and you can change the number of installments that you pay it over, but the amount of interest obviously goes up quite substantially the longer you take to repay it. We're just going to pay it over 3. In fact, we're probably going to pay it off before we even have to pay a single loan. We'll see. But we'll take that loan, and that will give us a little bit more cash to spend on equipment to get us started. So off to the equipment store then. Let's go grab us some gear. Oops, just clip the entryway there. Okay, and here is our lovely equipment store. So what do I need? Well, I need a jerry can. I'll take one of those because I'm going to need to have some fuel. What I also need is a small pump, a hog pan with a pump attachment. I'm going to need some mats. Get 4 of those. 1 sluice box core and 1 extension. I need some piping as well, so I need 2 fat water hoses, one thin water hose. I need a water splitter. And all of this will become apparent pretty soon. What else do I need? I have a couple of buckets already at the camp. Do I get another one? And what I also want is one of these as well. A magnetite separator. And that does throw a little bit of extra onto the bill, because it means I'll also need a generator, and I'll need a low voltage cable as well. Let's see. How much is that going to come to? Let's check it out. So that comes to 3,762, which is way more than I can afford. It's the magnetite separator. It's just too expensive for us at this stage, but we will get one of those nice and early. So magnetite separator, we'll get rid of that, which means we can also get rid of the generator and the low voltage cable, or low voltage cable. So that brings our total back down to $828. That's fine. All of that stuff. And let's get that all loaded up into the back of the pickup. First things first though, I am going to make things a little easier for myself by putting the mats straight onto our sluice boxes, so I don't have to do this later. Get these picked up. Let's get the torch on as well so we can see a little bit clearer. There we go. Right, so let's get everything into the back of the pickup. Now, a good thing about loading up our pickup is that once it's in there, it pretty much stays in there. So you don't even necessarily have to have the tailgate up. You can have that down and stuff will stay in there. It depends on what it is you're transporting, I suppose, and how aesthetically pleasing you want it to be. So we could leave this open if we wanted to. It can't at the moment because there's something laying on it. Let's see if I can just reposition this. There we go. So yeah, we could open the tailgate and load things in that way if we wanted to, and we will do that in the future when we have other bits of equipment. But yeah, the great thing is it'll stay pretty much locked in place, so we won't have to worry too much about stuff falling out the back, which is good. Get our pump. Get that loaded in just there. I want the jerry can next to that as well. Oops. Get that slotted in there. Got our water splitter. There we go. And then we just have our cables, our hoses. There's our thin water hose, and these are our two fat hoses. Oops, it's a little precarious. There we go. Excellent stuff. So I don't have to worry about that top one bouncing or falling off. That'll stay pretty much locked in place now, which is good. Engine on, handbrake off, and we're going to make a quick detour to the petrol station, the garage. There we go. There we go. Now I'm not going to refuel the truck just yet because we don't really need to, and it'll cost a bit, but what I am going to do is I am going to stick some extra fuel straight into our generator, our pump, and also into the jerry can, if I can see where that went. Where did our jerry can go? And tell me it fell out and I left it behind. Huh. I don't see the jerry can anywhere. Oh no, there it is. It's underneath the pump. Okay, so let's just drop that there for a second. Oh, wrong button. Still keep doing that. Still keep pressing square instead X instead of square. There we go. So just move that out of the way. Drop that there for a second. Plonk that there. Raise the tailgate back up. Fuel up our jerry can as well, so we have a little bit of spare fuel at our camp. Here we go. And now we are ready to drive off to our gold claim. In terms of performance of the game, it's not bad. There's definitely room for improvement. Sometimes the frame rates can get quite low, even running on the PS5. Get some juddery movements and some juddery motions. As I say, you do get that loading lag like this, which, you know, can be a little frustrating, but I'm hoping that that will get improved upon in time. But for the most part, you know, this game actually plays reasonably well. You know, where the frame rates, while they do judder from time to time, they're not horrible. But they're certainly not in the 60 frames per second range. You know, it's in the 20 to 30 range, I suppose. And there doesn't seem to be any real benefit playing it on a PS5 over a PS4. Obviously, I don't have a standard PS4 to test that on, but I would imagine performance would probably run about the same. Maybe a slight improvement on the PS5. Maybe in the future we'll get an optimization patch for the new machines, but we'll see. And here we are at the claim. So I've got the equipment sheds and sell point, etc. all the way over there. There's our tent and our caravan. We're going to park up just here. Oh, wrong button again. Let's start moving our equipment over to the water just over here. So we'll start off placing our pump. Bring our hoses over. I'm just going to drop these here for a second. There is no way to throw equipment, which is a little disappointing. It'd be nice to be able to sort of just throw a cable rather than carry it to exactly where, you know, one spot and then drop it. It's not the end of the world, I suppose. It's just been spoilt by games where you can throw things. Let's get our main sluice box. Get that placed down. There we go. Let's grab the extension. We'll place that down there. And now we need our hog pan. It's got stuck, there we go. Let's get this mounted. There we go. What else do we have left? Oh, the water splitter, yeah. We'll leave the can of gas in the back. We don't need that for a little while. There we go. Seeing as we filled up our pump before we came out here, it'll be a little while before we need to top that up. I will drop this just there. Push that back a little bit. In fact, we'll stick it on this side. There we go. So let's get this all piped up. The first thing we need is our large water hose. We're going to connect that to the in valve, which is just here, and then dump this half in the water. Now we need to connect our pump to our splitter. Like so. And these hoses will stretch quite a considerable amount of distance, so that's quite helpful. And you can wind them back in as well. So if I plug this in and just move away, you can see, oh, to drop that, that's the hose there, currently at 35 slash 30 feet, but I can wind this back in, and if you keep winding it will actually just curl it back up, which is quite nice. We'll plug that in there, and then this needs to go into the back of our hog pan just there. Alright, there we go. So we have our hog pan with our sluice boxes, mats are already in, our pump is set up, all ready to go. Now we just need a couple of extra items. First things first, we're going to need a big pan so that we can clean our pay dirt and get our gold. Some water in that, and plonk that just there. Also going to need a bucket or two. We'll just get one for now. Oh, I'm going to need the pan as well, aren't I? There we go. Just plonk that down there as well. And we'll plonk this down here. Now there are two types of hog pans. There's this one here which has the pump attachment, and there's one that's about half the price which is no pump attachment. On that one you have to manually flush it out with water when it gets full to send the pay dirt down the sluice boxes and trap the gold in the mats. This one has a pump, so it does all that for us. It'll just speed things up a little bit, which is quite nice. Here you can see the symbols above our hog pan. This indicates how full of dirt it is. That's probably going to stay non-existent once we turn the pump on. And then we have each of our mats. They will all go up in uniform amounts. And then, because we have an item, we have a pump attached, this shows us that we have water connected. So you can see here, water is connected there. Nothing yet through there because we haven't turned the pump on. So let's get that fired up. There we go. And there you can see we're now moving at 5 gallons per minute, which is quite good. So we're going to pull out our shovel and start digging. And this is how we get started. It's slow, hard work. We're just digging lots and lots of dirt and shoving it into the sluice boxes. But it's a cheap and easy way of getting going. And we have found a gold nugget. So you have a choice when the nugget pops up the very first time. You can accept the nugget and then keep finding them, and that will get you a lot of gold very, very quickly. Or you can reject the nuggets and you'll never get nuggets ever again. And I'm going to reject, because I've played quite a few where you start getting nuggets and you make so much gold ridiculously quickly that everything else just doesn't seem worth doing. You know, you just dig and you make far more money off the nuggets than you would actually digging for gold. So for this playthrough, I'm going to try running without the nuggets. So we do have that half an ounce nugget there that we got, and that'll be the only one. We shouldn't find any more now. In fact, let me double check in the settings, make sure that that is definitely the case. Gold nuggets disabled. Yes, there we go. So you can see we're up to 15% or so on our mats at the moment. We're going to keep going until they hit 100, and then we'll give them a clean out, and then we'll see just how much gold we've got. It won't be much. It's going to be a lot of digging until we actually get going to a good amount where we can actually start looking at getting new equipment. But that's what we want. We don't want this to be too easy. And I do love, I have to mention it, I do love the fact that we do have deformable terrain. It really does make the game. And I think if we didn't have it, it would be a little bland, a little boring. You know, I'm not sure how they would actually be able to do it without deformable terrain, but everything that we touch in terms of these areas of soil, you can see here this brown area of deformable soil goes all the way up to the top there. This is the digging area for the shovel. Obviously there is a lot of land all the way over on the crest of that hill there where you can actually use your equipment, so you can use bulldozers and wheel loaders and, well, not wheel loader, sorry, front loader, and excavators, and you know, that can go very, very deep indeed. And the game just, I don't think it would actually work without deformable terrain, but it's really nice to actually have a game with this deformable terrain. It makes all the world of difference. It really does. It really does make you feel like you are properly digging out. And we've seen a few games in the past on the channel that have had it. Most notably, I think, would be Construction Simulator 2. When we played that a couple of years ago. About a third of the way through, or just over. Just keep digging, just keep digging. And I like the refueling system as well. Obviously you can see, if we look over here, you can see the 88% on our fuel gauge just there. The fuel levels on our pumps will go down. Same as our generators, we do have to make sure that we keep them topped up, which is why I bought the jerry can, because that fuel will run out at some point. It's nice to have a little stash of fuel up here so we don't have to take the entire pump down to a fuel stop to top it up. Of course, going forward, when we get some big equipment, we are going to need something other than jerry cans to top them up. When we get ourselves an excavator, we're going to need a fuel trailer, because we won't be able to take the machine off the claim, and even if we could, it would take an eternity to get to the fuel stop, and then we'd burn up a ton of fuel just taking the whole thing back again. So a fuel trailer will be needed, and you know, obviously the size of the fuel tank in the excavator is massive. The jerry can would barely put a dent in. You know, in the need to fill it up, so these are all things that are way ahead of us. For now, we just need to keep digging, filling up our hog pan, sending pay dirt down the sluice boxes. Hopefully we'll get a decent little bit of gold so that we don't have to spend too long breaking our backs doing this. The other reason I took out such a big loan is I wanted to have a little bit of leftover cash at the end as well, so that when I do go to smelt some gold and make a gold bar ready to sell, I wanted to have some money to be able to afford to actually smelt it. So if I'd just started with the base amount, and I certainly wouldn't have been able to afford to go with the pump hog pan, but if I had to go without the pump and just have a standard hog pan, I wouldn't have been able to afford the pump and the splitter and the cables, you know, the hoses as well. It would have basically been the sluice boxes with the mats, the no pump hog pan on the top, and that would have been pretty much it. And we'd have had maybe $150 left over from our starting allowance. Not much. And then by the time we got some gold and go to smelt it, we could maybe craft a 1 or 2 ounce gold bar, and that would be all we'd be able to afford, because you do have to pay to have your gold bars smelted at the blacksmiths. And you pay in 2 ways as well. You pay in the straight up cost of it. There's a dollar cost to create a gold bar, and then you also have gold losses as well. So when you start out, those gold losses are about 20%, I think. Maybe, no, 10% I think it is. So if you had a 20 ounce gold bar, you would end up with about 18 ounces. You wouldn't get the full 20. Now those can be improved as time goes on. You can buy some upgrades at the blacksmith to reduce how long it takes to create a gold bar, to reduce how much it costs to make a gold bar, and to reduce how much gold you lose when you make a gold bar as well. And to do that you need magnetite, which is why I'm looking at the magnetite separator. And that is something that we will be trying to pick up nice and early on, just so we can make a start on getting that all-important magnetite, because you do need a lot of it for the upgrades. I'm talking tens of thousands of grams. We're almost done with this first batch of gold. A little bit more digging to go. 10% left in the mats. Didn't get the thing there. There we go. And you can see we're actually hitting the bottom of the pay dirt over there. It's fine, we've still got a mountain of available ground to dig in, as you can see. Maybe one more. And there we go, we're up to 100%. So let's go and turn off the generator, turn off the pump, so we're not burning fuel unnecessarily. Plus we need the waters to stop flowing so we can get these mats off. So we need to clean them. Let's put some water in this bucket to do that. Drop that down there. That's the first mat cleaned. And the second one. Oops. Picked up the whole sluice box then. And there's the third one. And last but not least, the fourth mat. There we go, so we have some pay dirt. Let's pan for some nuggets, see what we can find. So this will be our first legitimate gold. Obviously we've got that nugget there. It gave us 0.4 ounces. See a little bit of gold starting to come through in the pan. There we go. We're not going to get any more out of this one. Let's pull out our gold grabbing gear. We should get 4 buckets worth of pay dirt from that one trip through the sluice boxes. With a little splash at the end as well, maybe. There we go, so no more gold in that lot. So let's drop the pan. There's some more dirt in there. Repeat the process. So we gained about 0.41 ounces from that first pan. That's not too bad. Let's see what we get from the second one. Should be probably about the same. Gold hiding in there. There it is. There we go. Oh, one more little bit. Round 3. So again, around about 0.4 of an ounce from that bucket of pay dirt there. I'm expecting it'll be about the same on this one as well, so that means we should get around about 1.6 ounces for the whole bucket. So we're going to look at around about 2 ounces total, if we include that nugget that we got at the very beginning, which isn't too bad. We're going to need a fair bit more than just 2 ounces though. There we go. Got any more? Or is that the lot? I think that's the lot. Yep. So, final bit of pay dirt. There we go, and there might be a little bit of crumbs left in the bottom. We'll check that once this one's done. Up to 1.7, so we might end up with 2.1. Maybe even 2.2. There we go. These last 2 pieces. There we go, I think that's the lot. So that's 2.1. Oh, there's another little bit there as well, look. There we go. And let's just see if we do have any little crumbs left over in the bottom of the bucket. Just a tiny little bit. So we'll get one more little tiny sliver of gold out of this. There it is. So we end up with 2.149. That's not too bad. You know, our first trip to the sluice box gave us, what, 1.7 ounces. We have... Drop this, let the saving icon disappear. There we go. We have plenty of dirt still to work with, as you can see. We still have our sluice box and a bucket and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue digging and digging and digging and putting stuff through the sluice box, and then earn a bit more gold, and then we'll come back for part 2. And if we have enough money, we might look at going and getting a little bit more equipment. So until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Gold Rush very soon.